Hi everyone, welcome to Active Self-Protection Extra and John's Briefs here at C2 Tactical in Scottsdale with Tim Forshey. Again, probably the premier defensive criminal attorney that I am working with all the time here in America.
Wow.
I'm gonna give you that. Boom.
Man, oh man, that's high praise, buddy. Thank you.
Well, I mean, you do the work, you do it in an excellent manner, you help people, and you've got a level head on your shoulders, and you know this issue of self-defense and use of firearms.
I appreciate all that. Coming from you, that's very high praise. It makes me happy. Thank you.
There are not too many of them.
Yeah, sadly.
You know,
that's true.
You as an expert, guys, the number of attorneys I have to, educate about all this stuff is all of them, not this one. He educates me. We had an incident on the channel, a really crappy self-defense incident of a guy coming and like stealing some shrimp from a place and then gets in a physical confrontation over that, then grabs his brother and brings him back, and the cooks go after the guys with knives. And I said, guys, this isn't justified self-defense, especially at the door. I mean, really, especially when they drive him back to the door. If you don't know which case we're talking about, links in the description, hit that, watch the video. By the time they've retreated back to the door and the dude comes up and just shanks him a couple times, even when they were just starting to come back behind the counter, I don't think going after him with the knife was justified, but probably a dozen people in the comments took me to task for that I was wrong on this one. Let's ask the attorney. To win the fight after the fight, you need help. After a use of force, I trust Firearms Legal Protection to help me win the fight for the rest of my life. From their 24/7 attorney-answered hotline to coverage for the use of all legal tools, Firearms Legal Protection has you covered. Get a discount by signing up at the link below. I mean, you watched the video too.
I did, yeah, a couple times.
And if this gets presented to you as discovery as a criminal defense attorney, what do you think?
If I'm defending the guy with the knife, I'm going to focus on that chair.
Yeah.
Big time. Because I'm going to have to say that chair is a weapon. That's a lethal weapon. He could have knocked me out. He could have got me on the ground and used one of those legs to stab me in the throat and kill me. I was in fear for my life because of that chair. I'm going to focus on that. Problem is, the attack continues way past the chair. So the first part of it, I don't like it at all. I've told you this before, John. I kind of view, and this offends some people, and I'm sorry if I offend people, but I think a knife is going to be viewed generally by a jury as an offensive weapon rather than a defensive weapon. It looks like you're the robber, you're the stabber, you're the raper. It's just like if it's all you got, you're getting attacked, of course, you're going to use a defense. I carry a knife, I'm sure you do as well. It's primarily
as a box opener?
It's primarily a tool that I wouldn't think of using for self-defense. But the point is that, yes, in an emergency situation, it could be pressed into that role, and I could still defend it. But the first thing you grab, a 14-inch butcher knife, a 14-inch, whatever the guy's using that for in that restaurant that serves this.
Big, like 10-inch chef's knife.
Apparently the best shrimp in the world. You're willing to kill or die for it. It's pretty good shrimp, I guess. But it's going to be, those aren't my favorite cases. I've only handled a couple. They're just tougher. There's just something about them that's visceral. And here's part of it. People don't fear getting shot with a gun because nobody's been shot with a gun. We all fear, we have this instinctual fear of knives because we've all cut ourselves.
We've all been cut.
And didn't feel good. I barely felt it for the first 10 seconds, and then it was agony, and I was bleeding all over the house, and we've all been cut. And so there's this, jurors feel that too. Ooh, it was a knife. There's just something about a knife that just kind of, puts people on edge a bit.
Well, and I want to talk about that chair, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, okay, this chair, if he goes all, Hacksaw Jim Duggan on me, ooh, old school WWF reference. And and busts me over the head with a chair. He goes Iron Sheik on me or something like that. That I'm an 80s kid now.
The Iron Sheik, I know. Yeah.
Then that could put me in the hospital for sure. But and I know, man, you're shooting a long three-pointer trying to make that.
That's all I got on this one.
All I got.
You asked me what I do as a defense attorney. Man, I'm gonna have an expert go in with a chair and smash watermelons and stab goats, and I'm gonna show how lethal chairs are. That's all I got here.
So there it is. You go, okay, can I make an argument that the chair, so the guy has a hold of the chair, and
it looms up into the video, and it's like, whoa, that's it catches your eye for sure. So I'm going to focus on that,
And so I'm going to focus on that on the beginning one.
But after that, he chases him way past the chair to the door.
Then the chair
stabs him at least I'd say 2 to 3 more times there. So at some point I'm pissed, and I'm going to chase this guy, which we've talked about in other videos. Nope, that's going to be tough. So
to the internet haters, I give you the thumbs down.
There you go.
Here's the thing, guys. When I do those analyses, I'm not trying to tell you that that what the other guys did was good.
No, that's the thing. It's reprehensible what they did. Yeah, they smashed their way back into the store and they're going to beat somebody's butt, blah, blah, blah. No, you can't justify that. But is it a death penalty case?
No.
No, it's not.
And we have to be careful not to become them.
Right.
We have to be careful not to become what we hate, which is this idea of, kill them all and let God sort them out.
Yeah.
And in anarchy, in an anarchist situation, the strong rule over the weak.
Right.
That's not the society I want to live in.
That's where we just use nukes. I mean, the Houthi rebels in Yemen are giving us problems. Let's send a missile there and wipe them all out.
Turn them into a parking lot.
Thank God we don't do that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
We don't.
That's a scary world.
It's not what we do.
Right.
I don't want to live in a world of the Book of Eli, where whoever is strongest gets to control everything and everyone. No, we live in a nation of laws, and those laws are designed to protect us and protect the weak from the strong. Okay, and so and I like that, and so that means we have to be on the side of good.
Yep.
And I think people struggle with that sometimes, Tim.
Especially now in these times, because I think the social media and the internet have us all polarized and hating each other, and we're all talking about how this is the worst crime rate in history, and it's certainly bad. And I don't think it's declining like the media is saying. I think there's a lot of ways that data is being massaged. But the point is that it's not as bad as we all say it is, and we don't have to get down and mire ourselves in that muck and hate each other. It's like, yeah, we gotta try to fix this. We gotta try to do better.
And somewhat, we see these cases now. Like, you see this case out of Philly, right? And you don't live in Philly. And 20 years ago, you never would have seen that case.
Right,
it would have never come on your radar.
It's a small world now.
Yeah, it's a very small world, because you watch the Big Asp channel, and not only do you see that one, but then you saw one that happened in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and you saw one that happened in Miami, Florida.
Yeah.
And
Where can you get that comprehensive coverage? I mean,
it's my fault. I bring it to you.
It's your efforts to do that, and thank God you do. But I mean, you're right. That didn't exist. I mean, we've only had badge cams for 2 decades. I mean, it didn't exist.
It didn't exist. Yeah. So, dash cams we've had for 2 decades. Badge cams has been since 2012 or 13.
Yeah,
so 10, 11, 12 years.
Yeah.
So again, we got to stay the good people. We have to be the ones who say, wait a minute, I only use deadly force when I don't have any other choice.
Right.
When I have to, otherwise, he's going to kill me. He's going to put me in the hospital. And if we don't, then we become that which we hate.
Yeah.
And we don't want to do that. So, the chair, maybe.
The chair is not my son, as Michael Jackson told us in that song. So,
but the door, by the time he gets to the door, man, you're going to go up the river for that, guys. Tim, really appreciate it, man.
Always, you bet. It's a tough one.